Hi, this is Mark Oelze with PLEDGEtalk and another Tuesday communication tip. The title of this week's tip is Crucial for Conversations and Lawn Mowing. Yeah, crucial for conversations and lawn mowing. Over the weekend, I mowed my lawn like I usually do, and I discovered something that lawn mowing and communication have in common. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but really it's true. So hang with me and let me tell you a short story. So I'm out there early in the morning because, these days are way too hot unless you like living in a desert, which I don't. So I'm out there cutting my lawn with a push mower on a diagonal line. I start in the middle of the yard, so the diagonal line is the longest with those first few passes. Now, if you want to make your lawn look nice, you want your lines to be straight. But unless you are like a master at design and artistry, which I am not, it's difficult to get those lines straight like I want them to. Try as I might. My lines are curvy. And when I get to the end and turn around to go back in the opposite direction, now I'm looking at a curvy line rather than a straight line. So I tell myself, I'm going to shorten the curve here and there and lengthen it there in the width in the middle. And then I take off one more time down the run. Unfortunately, more often than not, it still does not come out straight. It can be a frustrating task. Now, for those of you who are out there listening and you share my frustration about not being able to make those lines straight, I have some encouraging words for you. There is hope. Several cuttings back, I stumbled across the answer. How I came up with the idea, I don't know, but I did. Once, when I got to the end and spun around, before I started with my next pass, I fixed my eyes on a point just beyond where I was going to end up. I determined then from that moment on, from the moment I took off from that end, the starting end, I would keep my eyes focused on that point and walk straight towards it. I didn't look down to see how I was doing. I just kept my eyes focused on that point until I got there. Then I spun around and I looked back at my line and whoa, it was straight. Seriously, it was a beautiful straight line. I almost cried. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too dramatic, but I was excited. I had stumbled onto something. But lest I start selling my idea prematurely to the world of the internet through YouTube, I thought I had better try it again, just to make sure my idea was founded on some solid research. So I did. I got another point fixed in my mind, just beyond where I was going to end up, and I took off, focusing on nothing but that point in front of me. And sure enough, when I got to the other end and spun around, there was another perfectly straight line. It was amazing. So I thought I needed to patent it. Well, what does this have to do with communication? I'm so glad you are wondering this. Everything. Do you want to have good conversations? Do you want to have healthy ones? Then you have to get focused. Get one idea in mind when you have your next conversation and every conversation thereafter. One idea in mind upon which you will focus. And that is this. I am in this conversation for one reason. That is to love that person in front of me. That will be my focal point. That is my sole purpose in the conversation. If, while talking to them, they interrupt and say things that cause me to want to react, I will pause to let my emotions dial down and stay focused on seeking to understand them. I keep my focus to love well. If the conversation ends without me getting a chance to say everything I wanted to say, but I know I loved that person well by not interrupting them, by listening well to them, by showing them in the process that they matter, then I did well. I didn't veer off to one side or the other. I kept my focus to love well. If I asked to share my perspective rather than demanded in one way or another that they listen to me, then I did well. I stayed the line, kept my focus to love well. So, the next time you mow your lawn and want your line straight, fix your eyes on a point just beyond where you will end up, and you will do well. And far more important, the next time you have a conversation, fix your mind and heart on one thing above all else, on one thing out there, beyond even the other person, beyond where this is going at the moment. Fix your mind on one thing. You are going to love that person in front of you and love them well in the way you communicate with them. Well, that's all for this week's Tuesday's communication tip. I'm Mark Oelze, author and creator of PLEDGETalk. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can find 60 plus video tips like this and much more inside the PLEDGETalk learning community. You will not only learn how to communicate well in all situations, but also find great encouragement by a host of others who are wanting the same. To download the app and become a part of the community, go to learnpledgetalk.com.